Your baby stares at you a little too long. They seem startled by sounds other babies ignore. They reach for objects nobody told them to reach for. Most parents think this is just normal baby behavior. But developmental psychologists have identified very specific early signs that appear consistently in babies who go on to develop exceptional cognitive ability. And the most surprising part? Many of them show up before your baby says a single word. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 of those signs. What the science says, what to look for, and what it means. Before we start, I want to say something important. This video is not about putting pressure on your baby. It is not a test. It is not a competition. Intelligence in early childhood looks nothing like intelligence in adults. It does not look like sitting still and following instructions. It looks like curiosity. It looks like intensity. It looks like sensitivity. And understanding these signs can help you support your baby's development in the exact ways their brain is asking for. Sign 1. Extended eye contact and intense staring. Have you ever felt like your baby is studying you? Not just looking. Studying. Like they are trying to decode something important about your face. This is one of the earliest and most consistent signs researchers have observed in babies who later demonstrate above average cognitive development. Babies with higher cognitive potential tend to spend significantly more time making sustained eye contact with their caregivers. They are not doing this randomly. Research shows that extended eye contact in early infancy activates neural pathways associated with social learning, pattern recognition, and emotional intelligence. Your baby is learning your expressions, your vocal patterns, your emotional responses. And the more intensely they attend to this information, the faster their brain builds the social and cognitive maps that intelligence depends on. If your baby holds eye contact longer than other babies, or seems almost uncomfortably focused when watching your face, their brain is not wandering. It is working. Sign 2. High sensitivity to sound and environment. Does your baby startle more easily than others? Do they seem overwhelmed by loud environments? Do they notice things that other babies simply tune out? This heightened sensory sensitivity is frequently misread by parents as fragility. But developmental research tells a very different story. Babies with higher cognitive potential often have nervous systems that are more finely tuned to environmental input. They are not weaker. They are processing more. Their brains are detecting subtle changes in their environment that other babies filter out. Changes in tone, in light, in temperature, in social energy. Elaine Aron's research on highly sensitive children found a strong correlation between sensory processing sensitivity and cognitive depth. The babies who seem most affected by the world around them are often the ones most deeply engaged with it. If your baby's sleep is easily disrupted by sounds, if they seem to need more time to adjust to new environments, if they respond strongly to changes in mood or atmosphere, their nervous system is not misfiring. It is receiving. Sign 3. Early babbling with tonal variety. Listen carefully the next time your baby babbles. Not just whether they are making sounds, but whether those sounds have variety. Rising tones, falling tones, pauses, repetition, change in rhythm. Because early babbling that mimics the structure of real conversation is one of the strongest early predictors of language development, and language development is one of the strongest predictors of cognitive ability. Research by Dr. Patricia at the University of Washington found that babies who produce more varied and complex babbling in the first year of life show significantly stronger language acquisition by age 2 and 3. Babies who babble with intentional tonal variety are already practicing communication structure, cause and effect, and turn-taking. They are not just making noise. They are rehearsing conversation. Watch whether your baby pauses after babbling as if waiting for a response. Watch whether they change their sounds when you react differently. If they do, they are already learning that communication is a two-way system. And that understanding is the foundation of every complex thought that follows. Sign 4. Object permanence awareness earlier than average. Here is something you can test right now. Take one of your baby's favorite toys. Let them see it clearly. Then cover it with a cloth while they are watching. Does your baby look for it? Do they reach toward where it disappeared? Do they seem confused or expectant, like they know something is missing? What you are testing is called object permanence. It is the understanding that objects continue to exist even when they cannot be seen. Jean Piaget identified this as a critical milestone of cognitive development. The average baby develops object permanence between 8 and 12 months. But babies who develop it earlier, sometimes as early as 4 or 5 months, are demonstrating significantly advanced abstract reasoning. They are understanding something most babies cannot yet grasp, that the world continues to exist beyond what they can directly perceive. This is not a small thing. Abstract thinking. Mental representation. Memory formation. These are the building blocks of high cognitive function. And your baby may already be building them. Sign 5. Strong preference for novelty. Does your baby seem bored faster than other babies? Do they lose interest in a toy almost as soon as they have figured it out? Do they constantly seek new things to look at, touch, or explore? This is not restlessness. This is not hyperactivity. It is one of the most reliable early cognitive signals researchers have found. A landmark study by Dr. Joseph Feigen found that babies who showed a stronger preference for looking at new objects over familiar ones in early infancy consistently scored higher on intelligence tests years later. This preference for novelty is called the Feigen test of infant intelligence, and it remains one of the best early predictors of IQ that developmental science has. What it tells us is that the baby's brain is processing and filing information quickly. Once something is understood, it is no longer interesting. The brain immediately seeks the next challenge. If you feel like you are constantly looking for new things to engage your baby, if they seem to learn what a toy does and immediately want something else, their brain is not being difficult. It is being efficient. Sign 6. Early imitation of facial expressions and gestures. Stick out your tongue at your baby. Raise your eyebrows. Make an O shape with your mouth. Does your baby try to copy you? Early facial imitation is one of the most fascinating signs of cognitive readiness that developmental neuroscience has identified. Research by Dr. Andrew Meltzoff at the University of Washington showed that babies as young as 42 minutes old can imitate facial expressions. 42 minutes old. But what separates cognitively advanced babies is not just that they imitate. It is how quickly they imitate, how accurately they imitate, and whether they initiate imitation themselves. This is driven by what neuroscientists call mirror neurons. Brain cells that fire both when you perform an action and when you observe someone else performing it. Babies with a more active mirror neuron system learn faster. They understand social behavior more quickly. They develop empathy earlier. And they build language at an accelerated rate. If your baby imitates you readily, initiates imitation, and seems fascinated by the connection between what you do and what they can make their own body do, their social and cognitive brain is developing ahead of schedule. Sign 7. Early emotional attunement and reading social cues. This last sign is the one most parents least expect. Because when most people think about high IQ babies, they think about fast learning, quick reactions, early talking. They do not usually think about emotional sensitivity. But developmental psychologists now believe that emotional attunement, the the ability to read and respond to social and emotional cues, is one of the strongest early indicators of broad cognitive intelligence. Does your baby seem to sense when you are upset? Do they look at your face before deciding how to react to something new? Do they seem affected by tension in the room, even when no one speaks? Research from Harvard Center on the Developing Child shows that babies with stronger social referencing abilities develop more complex cognitive models of reality. They are not just reading your face. They are building a theory of how minds work. This is the beginning of what psychologists call theory of mind. The understanding that other people have feelings, thoughts, and perspectives that are different from your own. The baby who seems to carry the weight of the room's emotion is not burdened. They are building 7 signs. All of them visible. All of them measurable. All of them appearing before your baby says a single word. The brain your baby is building right now is being shaped by every interaction, every response, every moment of presence you give them. Intelligence is not fixed at birth. It grows in the space between a baby's curiosity and a parent's response. Every time you follow their gaze. Every time you narrate what they are seeing. Every time you let them struggle for 30 seconds before you help. You are not just parenting. You are building a brain. If this changed how you see your baby today, share it with another parent. Subscribe to Todd Academy for more on baby psychology and the science of early development. I will see you in the next one.